Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video will contain spoilers for Dune Prophecy, currently streaming on HBO Max. This video may also contain discussions and/or images of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having fun. And I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today's video is going to be something kind of unique. I normally, a series I will normally wait to the end of, like the Penguin, to do kind of a retrospective talk about. I felt necessary to do this video after the first episode of Dune Prophecy because the episode, first of all, it was coming on the foothills of the Penguin. And the Penguin was just one of those lightning in the bottle shows. It was just boom. I don't think anyone at HBO or Warner Brothers or DC thought the Penguin was going to be what the Penguin is. So this, this show has to come in right after the Penguin. And the Penguin, and those are huge shoes to fill. Dune Prophecy, as of right now, on Rotten Tomatoes, it is showing Dune Prophecy at 70%. At time of filming, it's about 70%. That, for me, is not bad. For a first episode coming up right behind the Penguin, not bad. My personal rating would be about 85%, maybe 90% for a first episode. So, 70% with the way Rotten Tomatoes is set up is not bad. But there is room for improvement, and there's room for, backsliding. Officially, the press releases and stuff are saying that this TV series is inspired by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson's Sisterhood of Dune, which is kind of leaving some things out. It's not 100% accurate. It's actually pulling from 3 books. A trilogy called The Great Schools of Dune, which you have the Sisterhood of Dune, you have Mantets of Dune, and you have the Navigators of Dune. This story centers around the Bene Gesserit, and a majority of this series is pulled from that first book. The This book centers around the rise of the Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit is a matriarchal sisterhood. Frank Herbert in the original 6 Dune novels kind of based it on the Catholic nuns, mixed in a little bit of Jewish mysticism, a little bit of Islamic mysticism, and created the Bene Gesserit. Okay, Bene, B-E-N-E, is Arabic. And depending on the connotation you use it in, it could either mean the son of or the children of. And Frank Herbert in the original 6 Dune books used it more in the children of. Bene Gesserit, meaning children of the Jesuits. Gesserit is a permeation of the Jesuit, which is a Catholic order. And he pulls that together. You also have the Bene Twi'leks, which we'll get into later. And Golas. I have a theory about one of the characters that they made up for the show. So yeah, but the Bene Gesserit, this is the early foundations. They've been around about probably 50, 60 years, more like a generation and a half after the Butlerian Jihad, which was the war of man against the thinking machines. We have this story centers around Vale and Tula Harkonnen. Vale ascends to be basically the second Mother Superior of the Bene Gesserit. People in this time period are super paranoid about any kind of AI. There's a scene in which there's a kid's toy, which is a kind of AI robot lizard thing, and it freaks a lot of people out. It's at a engagement ceremony. The Carino princess at the time is being betrothed to a much younger mate. He's 9, she's like 18, 19. So, you know, there is an age gap there. And like I said, and people get freaked out. The people there's a lot at this engagement ceremony. This is the engagement ceremony of betrothing the Carino princess to this kid of this other household. I know I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. It's spelled Riches, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it's pronounced. In fact, when I went when I go back, I'm going to rewatch this. By the time the series is over, I will have probably watched every episode probably 4 or 5 times. But, yeah. And I'll probably figure out, probably the next video I do after the series is over, I'll have it pronounced correctly. But, we have the character I mentioned earlier that they made up for the show is a character called Desmond Hart. Desmond comes across as this character of he's portrayed as a soldier in the Korean military, high-ranking soldier who did multiple tours on Arrakis. Arrakis is a fairly new planet at this point. They're just now discovering the benefits of spice. Everything from recreational use to medicinal use to spiritual use. Desmond Hart is he did multiple tours on Arrakis. It's kind of parallels, people doing multiple tours, say in Afghanistan or Iraq or Vietnam. And he's basically earned the admiration, the admiration, that's not coming out right. The gratitude of the Korean emperor. And he chooses to go, look, can I just kind of chill out at the palace on duty for a while? And the emperor is like, yeah, okay, cool. And he's kind of squirrely. And people are kind of writing it off because of his multiple tours on Arrakis and dealing with sandworms and Fremen and all the craziness of everything on that planet. My personal theory, because of the end, spoilers, at the end of this episode, he kills the prospective mate to the Korean princess, and he kills one of the sisters of the sisterhood. And it comes across as being magic. The thing is, in the Dune universe, things that appear to be magic almost, or in fact always, there's no almost, or always, there's some kind of scientific or technological backing to it. Now, in the original Frank Herbert novels, you have the Bene Tlaxu, who basically gave lip service to the reformations of the after the end of the Butlerian Jihad, and basically on the cool, on the down low, continued stuff and technological stuff, AI stuff. They developed things called Golas, which were a clone. You have clones in this universe. Basically, in this universe, a clone is a direct copy. Kind of like a photocopy. Just boom, photocopied, exact copy. A Gola is, on the other hand, a clone that they've tinkered with the DNA. They've tinkered. things like heightened strength, sensitivity to things, heightened intelligence, and things of that nature. And my theory is that this Heart character is either a face or a Gola or a face dancer. A face dancer is also our Bene Tlaxu, the Bene Tlaxu. They are basically a construct of flesh. They're flesh and bone, but they've been genetically engineered that they can assume the identity of anyone that they touch upon killing them. They get kind of an imprint of the person, and this evolves by the time you get to the last of Frank Herbert's books, or actually next to last, The Heretics of Dune. You find out by that point that face dancers have evolved to completely download a person and assume that identity. But at this point in the universe, they just kind of imprint. They get a general knowledge, and they can still be tripped up, but it's fairly hard. And this is what I think Desmond is. He's either a Gola that they created from the actual Desmond's remains, or he's a face dancer. And one of the things that the Tlaxu have is a micro robots, computers that are not much bigger than an atom that they can project out with a time delay if they want to or not. And basically that's what they do. They burn somebody from the inside out. This is my theory of the Desmond character, that he's either he's either a face dancer or a Gola, and he's using these nanobots to further the Bene Tlaxu agenda. And they hated in the original Frank Herbert novels, and even in the Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson novels, them and the Bene Gesserit have hated each other since day one. So, with his hatred, he doesn't hide the fact that he's not real hip with the Bene Gesserit. There's a scene where the Emperor Desmond comes in, and he's telling the Emperor his story. And the Bene Gesserit truthsayer, which is one of the skills that the Bene Gesserit have, we'll go into that here in a minute. Basically, they listen to his story, and she basically tells the Emperor he's telling the truth, or at least he thinks he's telling the truth. Which is part of the reason why I tend to think he may be either a Gola or a face dancer. And the at this point in the evolution of the Bene Gesserit, they have the voice, and they have the voice they can compel people to do things. This is where Lucas got the inspiration for the Jedi mind trick. And truth saying. A lot of their other abilities they're still working on. Unfortunately, this show, or I should say so far in with this episode and what we've seen in the movies, pretty much the use of the voice is to get people to get stabby with each other. Which in the books, they use it for other things. They use it for everything's from outright grievous manipulations to some little minor manipulations. Like I said, I am generally excited about where this is going, about where this series is going. Like I said, I will probably do, like I did for the Penguin, after all 6 episodes have aired, I will probably go and do a recap of the entire series. Depending on how good it is, it may be a multi-video monster, so we don't know yet. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. And as always, be a good person, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.